Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Doc and Queenie Facebook Live. Good afternoon, Queenie.
Good afternoon, Doc. How are things in your neighborhood? It looks like you're working hard.
I am working hard. I'm covering up what's behind me, which is a lot of work.
When I get to see all of your different building supplies, I'm always just enthralled with all your skills. So
Well,
congratulations. I know you've got a lot coming up.
here we go. We'll just be real. I'm sitting in my chair off to the side. I was trying to sit in front of my garden bed, but I
Oh,
can't drag
wow.
the table that far. But
Wow.
let's see. To this way, that's our foundation for a greenhouse, and then on top of that is another garden bed that I haven't installed yet. And then
Yeah, I know.
I know I am so it's amazing that I can drive.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank goodness
right,
you're not in the UK.
oh yeah, right there is our. Couple of years ago, we made a couch out of cinder blocks and 4x4s. So I don't have my cushions on it to make it look nice because I just didn't have time. So, but no, I've been working all morning. How about you? What have you been up to?
That really is about the best news ever as far as all the different things that you've got going on. As I said, this looks like Construction Alley to me, and I think that is super cool. And I really mean that. So that I love that piece. I've had a fantastic day. We've got so many things happening. Certainly with the Happy Neighborhood, we have a board meeting for the Happy Co-op. We have extra points now for a big fish contest, which is so fun. If anybody chooses to join the co-op during this month, we will be announcing the big fish in the HNPC SEA, although I call it the big C as in C for co-op, but we'll see. And so there's so much going on, and it's been fantastic. The meetings I've had already, I got to do a posting party with the worldwidechamber.com, and that's always a blast. So life is fantastic, and you know how much I love Mondays.
I know Mondays are your favorite, Queenie.
I know. Yeah, I know. Seriously. And that's why I was wondering what you're doing, because you've always got a project.
The weather finally has broken a little bit. It's supposed to be in the mid 80s. The humidity is low. It actually looks like it's going to rain, but it hasn't. So I've been working on my privet trees. They used to be hedges, but they're trees now. Trying to,
That does happen, doesn't it?
yeah, trying to, like, if you were to see me, I was hanging from a branch this morning trying to get it down.
Oh my
Um,
God.
so I tie ropes to the branches. So when they start to fall, I can pull them away from me so I don't get smashed in the process because they're about this big around.
Oh my
So yeah,
goodness.
just
So,
trying to get
okay.
everything
So do
prepped.
you use a tree saw for something like that, as in one of those that you just keep doing that, or do you use those clippers, or what do you do for that?
I wish we don't have a chainsaw. You would think we had a chainsaw. We used to have a chainsaw, and we actually thought, well, we don't use this, so we gave it away. Like, what were we
Oh
thinking?
my goodness. That does not sound like you.
No, no. So we gave it away, and so I've been sawing using big old, saw, and then the clippers that you can clip branches with. You can clip, probably I don't know if you can see this about inch 1 to 2 inch branch with the clippers. We call them toenail clippers, but
Oh
that
my
kind of,
gosh.
and then just rope, just kind of pulling it down and away and securing it to make. The privets are very flexible, so when you cut something, it just flings back if it's not secured. So I've done this enough to figure out, really don't feel like having a branch fall on my head. That would probably not go well. So
Oh, that would
so
be
I'm
terrible.
working on trimming that back because we need just a little more sunlight for the greenhouse. So yeah, how about let's see,
I was gonna, yeah, I don't usually build things, but so the
no,
deal is you have to trim away all the lawn stuff, and then you have to make sure that all the trees are away from your greenhouse so the sunshine will go straight into it. Because
correct.
are you gonna have a heater in there and a cooler situation, or how are you gonna do the temperature thing?
We will have vents towards the top of the building, so that'll cool it as much
Okay.
as we can, and that's going to be a learning curve for sure. The whole thing's a learning curve.
Yeah.
And then for heat, we're trying to figure out. We'd like to, have, if we're going to do electrical, just a little space heater might be enough. Not exactly sure. We're going to quote unquote plumb it in for electrical. The electrical will come through the floor, so we're kind of trying to plan that out right now before we even do anything else after I level everything. So I don't know. I mean, there's different ways. I had somebody suggest, how about a pellet stove? Well, that's all fine and dandy, but then you have to vent it, and that's a whole nother problem. So we'll see. We'll see what we come up with.
Well, it sounds like you're starting at the beginning, which means if you get rid of all the tree branches around, you'll have straight stream of sun. And quite frankly, winter sun, I think, is beautiful from a standpoint of heat. Because I make sure that my office windows are wherever I'm going to be working, as far as all these Zoom calls, I make sure that I'm strategically placed wherever the sunshine windows are. Just for warmth and all of the aesthetic parts of that. And so I can see you're starting and showing us at the very beginning, trim the ground out, get ready to build where the foundation is going to be, stake it off. I think that was one of your first reels. And now being able to trim and remove some of the shade that is being caused in the backyard. I really do. I think you're showing us at the very beginning how to get this done.
It's a lot of work, but yeah, it's I forgot I had a thought and I was going to say something and I totally forgot. But it's a lot of work. Oh, I know you were talking about the sunlight. We learned because we did a hoop house, a small version of a hoop house, which is just basically greenhouse plastic over some framing. And I learned from that little experience. Once it gets above 30, it gets hot. So, like you say, this is going to be in full sun. Once we get the trees taken care of, it'll be in full sun for at least 6 to 8 hours, which is what we need. And we will kind of learn how to maintain. And that's another thing. We're going to need fans to kind of keep the air circulating. And, there's a whole bunch. It's going to be a whole new growing experience for me. I've never done a greenhouse.
Wow.
So
I think your ambition is so awesome. And speaking of awesome, do we have any national days of today? You know how much I like that as we celebrate the first week into our 3rd year of Doc and Queenie. I love the backgrounds that you created for us.
Well, I've been whining over the past couple of weeks because they just really haven't been that great. And of course, I always focus on the food, which I know probably drives you crazy.
No. I'm always happy to hear what I won't eat.
Yeah. And we learn more about what your eating habits are like.
I know.
Well, today it was another not really fun. So I did not really make anything, but this actually ties into Happy Neighborhood Project. It's Happiness Happens Day.
Oh, well, that's cool. Okay.
I don't know if HNP is doing anything, but it's also
that. Okay.
I know you're a cat owner, or used to be, I should say. So it's International Cat Day.
Okay. Well, that'll be good for all the kitties in my life. I've got some grandkitties.
It's National Braiders Day. If I had long hair, I would be braiding it right now.
Oh, that's awesome. I've asked my grand darlings, can you please braid Gigi's hair right here? And of course they're going, no. Yeah, no, can't do it. Not happening.
It's National Frozen Custard Day. There you go. There's your food, which I was going to say that probably doesn't float your boat either.
A little sweet, unless the custard is, what do they call it? Jamocha flavored. I can do that maybe.
With the coffee flavor.
Yeah. I could maybe try that, but it would still never be my go-to.
National Dollar Day.
Dollar Day.
We need more dollars.
Dollar Day.
National Pickleball Day.
Okay.
I was a tennis player, but not a pickleball player, so who knows what that is. Oh, and here's one that'll just totally gross both of us out and give us the squeamish. It's National Tarantula Appreciation Day.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Goodness.
I don't appreciate tarantulas.
Yeah, I think you lost me on that one. That is awful. Tarantula actually in some cultures are delicacies. Like they eat them.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
I was with a girl the other day and she actually did cricket. almost like a cricket sushi or something. And I was like, there is no way that can happen in my lifetime. And she, of course, does the it tastes like chicken thing. And I went, that is not going to help. And yeah, it's not a good fit for me. But yeah, she eats crickets.
And then the last one, National Bargain Hunting Week.
Ooh,
are you a bargain hunter, Queenie?
bet. I can get into that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have. I absolutely love thrift stores and things like that, secondhand shops and consignment places, because I don't know if you've seen our Doc and Queenie Christmas lighting extravaganzas, but Christmas is my DNA. And so I walk into some of my favorite places and I say, I need your help. And of course, they're very attentive. What can I do for you? And I say, I need you to make sure that I do not put one thing related to Christmas in this shopping cart. Can you do that for me? And of course they crack up, because what am I walking out with? All of this fabulous Christmas stuff. Like, I definitely need it. Chevy Chase calls me for supplies. And it's back to that same drill. I just absolutely love Christmas. And quite frankly, the new stuff, some of it's fine, but I like I don't know if you call it authentic, but the stuff from before. And I love that type of Christmas. And so I always say, please make sure I don't walk out of here with anything related to Christmas.
Would it be retro Christmas? I don't know.
Not even retro. I think for me, it's more classic.
Classical. There you go. Like
yeah,
classic.
The contemporary stuff is fine, but for me, it's the classic pieces that just rock my world. And I love the tried and true, never goes out of style kind of thing. But they usually laugh and go, ha ha. And then how'd that request work out for you, ma'am? And I'm going, yeah, not so well. And I pull up the U-Haul to back it in so I can get my stuff in there.
That's what I heard. Yeah, no, I love
that.
Yeah. I love the classical, like the classical Santa Claus. I have a few pieces that actually have been hand down. Like we've got some ornaments that are from the 1900s.
Yes.
We have an old Santa Claus. It used to be a bank. I put it out for Christmas time, just for display. But he's the big round rosy cheeks.
Yes.
And then the way they did like the fur on his hat and his sleeves, it's funky. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yes, I do. And sometimes when they did the fur that way, they would glitter it. Just sprinkle the glitter in it. And as a crust over the years, as I call it, it needs to be refurbished. So sometimes I have found it's not actually cotton, but it's some kind of froth. And so it's like almost like a cotton thing that you would put into a manger scene type of deal, but it's a little frothy. And so I have actually refrothed and sparkled some of my fur things.
The dingy sparkle.
Yeah. Yeah. And
you mean the water? Do you think 2.5 could take any of that dingy off?
No, because it wouldn't bleach it.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if that would happen.
I would love the clean part, but it doesn't bleach. It's just stronger than bleach, but it doesn't bleach, so it would still stay yellow. So that's why I refroth them.
I've got a few ornaments that have that dingy glitter, but you can't do anything. They are so thin because they are glass that I'm afraid I would break them. And
the only thing I would do for something like that, they have spray glitter, and if you pull the spray far enough back so you don't actually harpoon the glass fragile pieces of the ornaments, just hold them like far away and spritz until it gets the glitter on it. I would re-glitter something like that for sure.
Sounds cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. If you recall, during our initial pandemic shutdown, I remember when you brought over glittered toilet paper for me, because I thought, isn't this just a fantastic concept? And you always put glitter toilet paper in our backgrounds when we were doing the Zoom calls. And when you brought over a roll of toilet paper with glitter on it, I literally put it in a showcase box and glittered it up additionally with gold. And I think it's lovely, but I'm
still finding glitter from that project.
Yeah,
Queenie.
I definitely believe that. Oh my goodness.
Oh. Yeah, I that whole glittering the toilet paper. I got a zany idea and ran out to Michael's and bought the spray and bought the glitter. And I did it like in a little cardboard box so it wouldn't go all over the place. But I do really seriously find glitter here and there once in a
Oh,
while.
I believe that. It's kind of like when you have, I wrap my banisters in garland. And so you can vacuum until
You still find them? Yeah.
forever. And all of a sudden, nothing's happening, nothing's different. And boom, out comes just one little tinsel piece of the garland. And I'm going, I haven't had Christmas up here in 8 months. How did that happen? And that really is always a mystery to me. Always a mystery.
Well, we're going to have to do another lighting ceremony, maybe for old time's sake, like we did our first year.
Yes, absolutely.
Countdown.
And yeah, that was super fun for sure. And but all the Christmas movies and Christmas in July and all the things that were happening, I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to get my Christmas stuff up. And I've got one platform that I'm on, and they count down. So there's like 22 or 21 Saturdays until Christmas, and 138 days or something like that. And I look at that and I'm just like, oh my gosh, the reason I love Christmas so much. Not only everything's so gorgeous, and when the leaves fall and now the trees are bare, at least when there's lights in the trees, it doesn't feel so desolate to me.
Right.
And so everybody has sparkled up their yards and all that kind of stuff. And I love that. And certainly the homes. And the reason that I just think Christmas is so awesome, it's not one day, it's a season for me. And it's a matter of people, I don't know what you'd say, hopefully would be kinder and certainly more generous at the end of the year type of thing. But remembering the reason for the season and all of that stuff, it just seems like almost a more spiritual, religious type of season than many of them. So it's not just one day, boom, goodbye. For me, it's a season, and I love for the season to kind of take hold for the rest of the year.
I've heard that once November hits, you're putting up trees and things.
Oh, you know what? And that's why I say I got to go, because I think I'm going to go to one of the thrift stores and see if they've got Christmas stuff out.
Wait, let me call them.
I'm feeling the urgency.
You better watch out. You let her put that tinsel in her cart. So that's funny.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's amazing. All right. What do you think? Are you thinking that you're ready to spin our magic wheel that we're going to do now?
I think it's wheel time.
Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh. I think you have to click share first. I really do. I think it is so fun. And for those of you joining us either for the first time or since our fantastic 1-year celebration, Doc and Queenie are going to be doing every single week, provided.
Did you say 1 year or did you mean 2 year?
2-year celebration, but our 1-year celebration for this wheel. Let me see. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And that didn't count because I was just getting started. So let me see if the ad goes away. Oh my goodness. This clicks automatically. All right. The winner is, wait till it's all the way.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Queenie.
Okay, so here is the Doc and Queenie wheel, and with our 2-year celebration, we decided it would be fun, since Doc is so great at certainly all of her gardening business and branding and Instagram and all of her event photos and hashtags and all the different things that she does. We thought it would be fun to do our wheel, and now every single week during our next 1 year is going to be fantastic as far as finding people who want to learn about different platforms. So for me, one of the coolest things, I guess you would say, as far as the networking piece, is definitely follow up and connection. I have seen so many balls dropped by not following up with the people that you meet that you just can't believe it. And they wonder, why isn't my business growing? Or why didn't this happen correctly? Or that may work for you, but it's not going to work for me. And Doc, I tell people all the time, you and I met on July 25th of 2019, and Doc and Queenie was born soon thereafter. I can't imagine, and it was a networking event. It was No Excuses Networking over at Fazoli's in Olathe, Kansas. And I can't imagine when people say networking doesn't work, what are you expecting of it, I guess?
Right. Like you have taught, which you are so good, and you've been doing this for so long, Queenie, networking is not about really, it's really not making a sale when you first meet somebody. It's
Uh-uh.
about building a relationship.
Absolutely.
I mean, and the way I equate it is family. We know the people in our family, what they do. If I have a question about finance, I'll call my brother. If I
Yep.
have a question about marketing, I'll call my other brother. If I have a
Yep.
question about management, I'll call my sister. I mean, they're all professionals in that area. They all have certain skills, et cetera, et cetera. It's the same thing with networking. We learn about people. We learn what their gifts and talents are. And it's just it's nice to be doing the same things. You and I are entrepreneurs. It's great to connect with other entrepreneurs. It's not. And I wonder if the drop is, they're gung ho about their company. It's made a difference in their life. So they think everybody's just going to dish out the money and buy
Yes.
because they're talking about it. And it's not. I've been in the naturopathy business for quite a while, or in the health field for quite a while. And it's funny because it has ebbs and flows. And right now it's starting to pick up again. And it's people that have known me for less than a year that are starting to go, oh, but they've gotten to know me, that kind of thing. It's the same with my gardening. I'm sure it's the same with your water.
Yes. And that's the other piece that I find amazing. Some people literally find me on the internet and say, I need a water machine. Can you help me? And I always say, how did you hear about Kangen? And they were doing their research. And P.S., by the way, I don't know if a lot of our listeners actually know, when people do research on your company, especially in the health and wellness field, please make sure that your friends, clients, prospects go to Google Scholar for research instead of just Google, because the Google part, you can obviously learn about anything, but it's not always, shall we say, accurate information. But Google Scholar kind of takes them one step further, and they can get additional pieces of what they're trying to learn about. So, but sometimes, like I say, they call them, want a water machine. Can you help me do that? Well, of course, but the bigger issue is I want to grow, just like you were talking about family. Who's top of mind for you with ABC product, and who's top of mind for you with DEF product, and whatever that looks like. And so it's back to that same thing. People do business with people they know, like, and trust, and you've got to give them a chance to know you. And the networking piece, a lot, just like the swooper thing, when people swoop in, barf their business, and hit the road, that has not traditionally, in 15 almost full-time years of doing this, that has not traditionally been a good way to create that relationship, shall we say.
Well, and you can even have another thing that I've noticed. You can have all of these certifications and awards and blah, blah, blah. People still won't trust you. They've got to know you first.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's such a good point. And that's where I think social media comes in, because there are people, let's say 10 or 20 people who do what you do as far as the naturopathy business, and definitely grow your own food to accomplish the organic piece so that it works well with your own body. Okay. So all of a sudden, and I can't imagine there would even be 10 in the Kansas City market, but who are the ones, or the one who is actually social media-ing correctly in order to get people to find out about your naturopathy and your gardening business? You. Look how well you've done with your Instagram reels. Look how well you've done with your postings. Look how well you've done with your YouTube channel. And now the growth piece is what I love, because people get a chance to know, like, and trust you just because of videos.
Right. Exactly.
And that's basically, for me, it's a mini interview. And when people see your videos, and people always think about, I can't do a video, I'm not good at that, I can't this, I can't that. Okay, take yourself out of the equation. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, and we've heard that forever, how much do you think a video is worth?
Right.
Yep. And look at your videos. I am always overwhelmed because I see what you do, and I'm looking at that and go, OMG, sister. But yours is labor intensive for sure. We don't get to see the behind the scenes thing when you're with your naturopathic clients, but we get to see the in front of the scenes part when you're sharing all of your gardening piece to accomplish the growth of what you're going to implement to help people learn that there really is such a difference. GMO, non-GMO, high fructose corn syrup, pure or not, organic or not. how your body responds to it. Like, what is this foreign substance? And it's just amazing, honestly.
It's all about, I mean, like you're saying, it's all about the connection. It's all about researching people. And actually, as we were talking here, my computer always has pop-ups on anything social media, which drives me crazy. But I just got, I retract that. I had, there's a company I write for, and they just posted on Instagram my article, like a lead into the article I just wrote, my most
Oh
recent
my
article.
gosh.
And I just reposted it on my Instagram story, and they just thanked me. It's all about that, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back and say thank you. I mean, we could go back and forth, but it's I look at it too as I'm really big with my children on manners. I'm big
Yeah.
on my dog with manners too, but it's that kind of thing. It's say thank you, say you're welcome, be respectful, that kind of thing. And like you are saying, you can really get a good idea of what a person is like if you watch their social media or their YouTubes or whatever.
And see, don't you feel that it really, 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 yes, free advertising, but it's also, I really mean it. I also feel it's a mini interview. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's why I say when people look at the different naturopaths out there, they look at the different gardenary consultants out there, it just blows my mind that instantly it would be one of those things. I can't imagine going to someone else and who's top of mind. I mean, who absolutely is. And that's the part that I always think they're going to go to you every time. And they really are. And I love that for you for sure.
Thank you, Queenie. Well, and likewise for you, with all of the training you are doing on social media, especially the posting parties with LinkedIn, the YouTube trainings, etc. Are the dogs getting ready to bark? They're getting ready, aren't they?
I hope not. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
You kind of looked off to the side. I'm like, oh, they're gonna bark.
No, I
Um,
don't think so.
and mine is wandering away. I'm outside, and she's just wandering around.
Yeah, it's summertime and they know it.
Yes. But yeah, it's just I wanted to also comment. We have a few more minutes here. I also wanted to
Yeah.
comment on one thing I was thinking about, just the two of us and how we interact out in the world through social media. Well, we're using, our businesses is not just what we do. We're kind of expanding into other areas of what makes us tick. For me, it's the reels and Instagram. I've got an artsy fartsy kind of background. I mean, that was my first degree kind of thing. So I am like in hog heaven on that stuff. You love to train people and you love to encourage people and edify people, and you're doing that through HNP, the posting parties, the YouTube's training that you're doing for different different people with different channels, etc. It's not just one little thing either, and that's another thing I should say that I was noticing with people, and of course people that are new too are that they're just laser focused, thinking you just do it one way. It's not one way. It's basically, I don't know, what do you call it, polarizing maybe an area with different platforms and different, using your talents in different ways.
That's a beautiful point. And I know with your blog posts, certainly your podcasts, the different facets, I guess you would say. I was in a meeting the other day, one-on-one with a lady, and she said, what does edification have to do with networking? Because I can't remember how the topic came up, but I said something about, so-and-so is so fabulous at whatever she does, and she's just such a great person, and I'd love to connect the two of you. And edifying people rocks my world. And she goes, what does edification actually have to do with networking? And for me, it's a big piece. I mean, it's a whole chapter in one of my books, but it's a know, like, and trust thing times a million. But I want to be top of mind when people think of Kangen. I want to be top of mind when people think of posting parties or facilitating trainings for whatever the topic is. And the edification piece for me is so huge, and it doesn't hurt. That's the part that I don't think people understand. Just like recommendations on your LinkedIn page, it doesn't hurt. And it's back to the top of mind thing. People remember how you made them feel a whole lot more than they're ever going to remember what you said.
Well, and it makes a statement by seeing somebody lifting somebody else up. That says a lot. That says a lot, because it really isn't all about us.
No, I agree 1,000,000%. Anyway, it was an eye opener for her, because that had not been a piece of her networking experience yet. And so I always find that fascinating, just like swoopers is a whole chapter. You wouldn't think swoopers would have to be, you wouldn't think edification would have to be, but until people have it as part of their to do fluidly or not to do fluidly, it really does turn out to be a bit of a challenge. So it's always fun to do one-on-ones, because you just never know what people are thinking, or certainly what makes them tick.
Right. Right. And like you say, you know, a lot of people aren't there yet.
Yep.
And, you know, what we're doing right now, maybe this is our purpose, is to kind of enlighten people on the basics of networking.
And I agree with that piece so much, because even in the Happy Neighborhood Project family, when people find out about it, because it's free, and are you kidding? It's not really free, is it? And what's the catch and all that stuff? And I'm always like, oh my goodness, the skepticism just is pervasive. But I love being able to say, yes, it's free, and it's free forever. That's a commitment by our Chief Happiness Officer. But what you do with that free networking is 1,000,000% up to you.
Exactly.
1,000,000% up to you. And so it's all about the follow-up. And if you just don't, you know, you juggle a lot of balls in the air, but if you drop any, who's going to be there to pick them up? And if you don't have a good team, a good support structure behind you, what does that look like? I can't imagine that.
Exactly. Well, guess what, Queenie? We are at the top of the hour again.
You know, even with the wheel, which I was thinking would make slow things down a little bit, it hasn't done that at all.
No, it's always flying. It's always flying. I mean, it's Monday. Can't believe it's
I
Monday.
know, it's Monday, and I love that, of course.
Favorite day yesterday, I think. I don't know. So thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon on Doc and Queenie Facebook Live at
high noon.
I have to do that.
Yeah.
If you want to check out Doc and Queenie is at KathyWeaverKC.com, and then you can find her on all social media platforms, Kathy Weaver KC. For Doc, you can check her out at KitchenGardenExpert.com and Kitchen Garden Expert on all social platforms. So until next time, have a blessed and wonderful day. Thank you for joining us, whether it was live or on a replay. And thank you, Queenie, for spinning the wheel. And I'm looking forward to next week.
I love that so much. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, Doc. And thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now.